Well, hello everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. Today's workshop, we're going to cover how to choose the right keywords to drive more return on investment for your company. As you guys know, keywords are the foundation of your SEO strategy. If you're chasing the wrong keywords, then you're not going to get the results that you're hoping for. There's a lot of differences when it comes to keywords. Keywords with more search volume, but also maybe more competitiveness. And then other keywords on the other end of the spectrum that may have less search volume, but they might be easier to rank for. And thus, you can win those jobs, those consultations a little bit easier. So it's a matter of trying to find a balance between what keywords you're using, the high competitive, high search volume keywords versus the lower competition keywords, but easier to rank for. So that's what we're going to dive into today in our workshop. As you guys know, you've probably been to enough of my workshops here. You know who I am. You know that we're associate members, industry partners for the top remodeling associations in the country, the top associations for remodelers, home builders, NHB, NARI, as well as the NKBA. I come from this background. I come from remodeling, real estate development, custom home building. So I've been there. I know where you guys are at. I know what you guys go through on a daily basis. It's definitely an industry that's very rewarding, but also provides some challenges too for you. But anyways, enough about me. You guys have probably already seen this stuff before. Um, but this is what we do. We only work with contractors, specifically remodelers and builders. We also work with some other home improvement brands that are in roofing, maybe windows. Folks that have heard of us come to us looking for help. That's what we're here to do, is just help guide you on your journey, help you better perfect your customer journey, so that you can outline a clear path for your customer to take, so that they end up being your customer. So this goes from searching online, it starts there, to you actually doing the job for them. And when we're talking about searching online, we're talking about keywords, right? And so, what I want to do today, what I want you guys to get out of this today, is that how to identify the high return on investment keywords, how to actually implement some strategies that will prioritize those keywords based on profitability. And then also we'll talk about avoiding some common pitfalls that can drain your ad budget, especially when we're talking about Google, Facebook ads, especially Google ads, super expensive. I've never seen their costs as high as they are now. They work less efficiently and they cost more. So that's Google ads for you. But if you want to succeed, you have to be dialed in on your keywords. And then we'll go over the top keywords that you can use for your remodeling business. The first thing to really understand is understanding return on investment and how keyword selection will drive ROI for you. And so when we're talking about return on investment in terms of your keyword strategy, this is measuring the profitability of your chosen keywords by comparing the revenue that they generate against the cost of acquiring that traffic. So effective keyword selection, it's going to focus on driving not just clicks, but actual conversions that impact your bottom line. You really want to know what keyword drove that result for you, and then you can focus more on that in your content and putting that keyword out there more so in all the content and social media and everything you do. And then also, you need to understand high traffic versus high conversion keywords. High traffic keywords attract the largest volume of visitors. Most people, are searching using these high traffic keywords, but may not always lead to sales. They could have less commercial intent. An example of that would be the cost to remodel a kitchen. Now, that's a great keyword phrase, but it also doesn't have huge commercial intent. People might be just looking for the cost. They're not actually looking to find a remodeler that they can hire. So you got to think about intent, commercial intent. Does that keyword phrase really mean that they're looking for somebody, or are they just searching for ideas, maybe in that early phase of exploring the possibility of doing this home conversion? High conversion keywords, on the other hand, are more targeted and specifically designed to attract users with strong buying intent. And this is going to obviously result in higher sales and then better ROI, of course. And then you also have the concept of, does more traffic equal more revenue? And that's not always the case. As I was just explaining, you can have a high volume keyword driving lots of traffic for you, but it may not actually turn into a lot of revenue. Driving more visitors to your website is great, but if they're not converting, it's just noise at that point. Obviously, you should be retargeting those visitors and showing them ads and keeping them coming back, keeping that brand awareness alive. You guys got to be doing retargeting. I hope everyone on this webinar is doing retargeting, because that's how you keep that brand awareness, stay top of mind with people. These are not decisions that are made in an instant. You know, if your toilet's overflowing, yeah, you just get the first plumber that answers the phone. He's the one that's going to win the job. But when we're talking about remodeling, we're talking about bigger jobs. We're talking about a lot of money. We're talking about a lifestyle change, maybe interruption in your household and functioning of your household. We're talking about a lot of things that result in this being a big decision, and it's going to take time. So that brand awareness, staying top of mind, is really huge. But the bottom line is, you want to prioritize keywords that attract ready to buy customers, and that's going to ensure that your traffic actually contributes to your revenue growth. And so let's talk about some key metrics to evaluating what keywords that you want to use. The first is conversion rate. And conversion rate is defined as the percentage of visitors who take a desired action, such as making a purchase or filling out a form. After they click on your keyword, they get to your website, they get to your ads landing page, whatever that may be. Remember too that Google has a different definition of a conversion. Google's conversion is, hey, if they clicked on your ad and went to your landing page, that's a conversion to Google. So understand that is a Google conversion. In your mind, in my mind, we're thinking, well, that's not a conversion. I don't have a design consultation set up. So you have to, make sure you're using the right semantics here, the right words to define what you think a conversion is. But anyways, high conversion rates this is what indicates that your keywords are effectively attracting the qualified leads that you're looking for. You're getting clicks, in other words. They're coming to your landing page. Now, they may not convert from there, and so that could be a landing page conversion problem. You may need better images. You may need better ad copy. Maybe you don't have any testimonials or social proof that really convinces that customer to proceed further with you, filling out that form, giving you their personal information, in other words. So you don't want to do any knee-jerk reactions thinking that, oh my God, I got this click, but it didn't convert. It must be the wrong keyword. That's not the case necessarily. So think about that. You're always split testing everything from keywords to ad titles to ad copy to landing pages to landing page titles, landing page copy, what all elements you put in your landing page. So there's a lot going on there. The other thing that we want to talk about is cost per click, your CPCs. And so this is the amount that you pay each time that someone clicks on your ad for whatever keyword you used. And so what you want to do is identify low cost yet high impact keywords that will help maximize your marketing budget and improve that ROI. You want to get as many clicks as you can, but you also don't want to be paying for all the most expensive clicks because that can really get super expensive on your budget really quickly, and Google will certainly take that money any chance they get. And then also cost per acquisition, CPA. The total cost required to acquire a single customer through a specific keyword, that's your cost per acquisition. This is all the costs that go into it, all the clicks that it took to get to that acquisition. So lowering your cost per acquisition while maintaining quality leads is a real key to boosting your profitability. So think about that. How much are you really spending? If you spend $2,000 on your ad budget and you got one lead out of it, one job, that was your cost per acquisition, $2,000. If you got four leads, four jobs out of it, not leads, but four jobs out of it, then now you're looking at $500 per job. So it can really vary. Again, it's semantics, cost per acquisition. Are you talking about just acquiring a design consultation? You got a qualified lead acquisition? Or are we talking about actually acquiring a closed job, a job that has been booked? Maybe it's not closed yet, maybe it's on the books, but it's been booked, contract signed, they're moving forward. So think about that, how you define acquisition as well. And then lastly, is your search volume versus your competition. These are the big metrics here that really define what keywords that you should be going after. So as I said in the beginning, you want to balance your search volume with the keyword competition. That's going to help you identify terms that are both highly visible and cost effective. The goal is to find keywords with strong search demand but less competition in order to optimize your reach and affordability when it comes to actually being able to purchase those clicks on Google AdWords. And so let's talk about keyword research techniques that will result in higher return on investment for you. The first is competitor analysis. This really boils down to being a strategic process of identifying the keywords your competitors are successfully using to drive traffic and generate leads. By understanding their keyword strategies, you can uncover gaps and opportunities to improve your own visibility. So look and see what they're doing, what keywords they're using, and try to model at least some of that, if not a lot of that. If you're starting out, mimic what's working. What do they say? Imitation is the greatest form of flattery. So that's what we're talking about there. And then here's a huge concept that not a lot of people are aware of. This is one to key in on. And that's your long tail keyword strategy. Long tail keyword strategy is focusing on highly specific multi-word keyword phrases that target your niche market with clear buyer intent. These are the keywords that often have lower competition but higher conversion rates, making them more valuable for targeted traffic. Huge concept there. Definitely make sure you're using those longer tail keywords, not just remodeler or kitchen remodeling. It may be, something that might have 5 or 7 words in it. Best kitchen remodeler near me with a great reputation. Something like that. That's a really long one. They don't have to be that long, but that's an example of it. Of long tail keywords. They're lower cost per click, lower bid strategies on those, lower volume, but easier competition. And then we've got transactional keywords. These are keywords that indicate strong purchasing intent, such as buy or order or get a quote. Get a remodeling quote would be an example. So prioritizing these keywords helps capture leads who are ready to take action, boosting that sales potential for you. In other words, they have that commercial intent that I was talking about before. And then lastly, local SEO keywords. This is optimizing for geographically specific keywords to attract local clients searching for remodeling services in your area. So they're searching specifically for a local contractor. This strategy is going to enhance your visibility in local searches, and it's definitely going to drive higher conversion rates from nearby prospects. In other words, prospects that are finding you in the Google Maps because most likely you're within about 8 or 10 miles of them, about the reach of where Google Maps will can really spread out to effectively, unless you're in more rural, less populated, less competitive areas, and you can go further than that, of course. But big cities, that's about all you're going to get. And so next, let's talk about tools for finding high return on investment keywords. Some of the tools that are best for finding those high ROI keywords are Google Planner, of course. This is a tool that everyone should be using. You can use this in your ads dashboard, or you can just go to the keyword planner. This helps you discover cost-effective keywords, helps you estimate the search volume on those keywords for your area. Although Google has hid a lot of these numbers and just uses generic number ranges right now and not specific numbers. And Google Keyword Planner will also help you forecast your ad performance, making it ideal for budget conscious campaigns. Another great high return on investment keyword tool is SEMrush or Ahrefs, two different tools, both industry leading platforms that provide advanced computer analysis, allowing you to really track your keyword rankings, help you uncover profitable keywords, and also help you identify growth opportunities for higher return on investment. Another great keyword tool is SpyFu. Now, this is a competitive intelligence tool that reveals your competitors' top performing keywords and advertising strategies. And that then enables you to tap in to those same high ROI keywords that they've already proven are successful for their marketing campaign. And now you can use those for your marketing campaign. So a lot of people don't, they don't want to feel like they're copying their competitors. But the fact of the matter is that they are probably ahead of you. If you're looking at big competitors, you're looking at the ads that are top of the ad, top of page one in the ads. They're successful. So again, just imitate what they're doing, and then you can refine and start doing some of your own things a little differently. But by looking at competitor analysis, you really figure out, what keywords that maybe you're deficient in, what backlinks that you don't have that they have, what associations that they're a part of that maybe you're not a part of, what content they're producing, focused on, X, Y, and Z keywords that you're not producing that same content. So really the whole idea is to put out as much in terms of SEO, as much as your competitors are doing, in other words, in every facet, and then do a little bit more in every facet. And that's how you beat your competitors in terms of SEO. A couple other tools Uber suggests from Neil Patel, great marketer, love following his stuff. And then Answer the Public. These are powerful keyword research tools that help you discover low cost, high intent keywords by analyzing user search behavior and common questions that most people are asking already. They already have these questions. So this makes it perfect for content marketing and organic growth. Really, really good for your content strategies, not just finding the keywords, but now how to use those keywords in your content, because this is what Google is looking for, what your competitors are looking, or your customers, I'm sorry, are also looking for. And so next is organizing and prioritizing your keywords for return on investment. The first thing that you really need to do is build keyword groups based on user intent and conversion profitability. By organizing keywords into groups that reflect the buyer's journey, in other words, informational keywords, navigational keywords, transactional buyer intent keywords, this will ensure targeted messaging and higher conversion rates. You really need to get your messaging dialed in And that's going to depend on where you're targeting your customers at in your funnel. Are you targeting your customers at the top of the funnel? Are you just trying to get them into your funnel, get them into your world, in other words, with maybe a remodeling guide or some kind of a checklist, or maybe an article, a blog, a PDF, a white paper on how to estimate the best cost for a kitchen, based on level of finish that you want, that sort of thing. Also, we want to talk about creating a keyword map that's aligned with your sales funnel, kind of what I was just talking about there. Structuring your keywords to match each stage of your sales funnel. And if you're not aware of sales funnels, in general, we're talking about awareness. That first stage is awareness, just making them aware of your brand. And then we're talking about consideration and then decision. These are phases where they're considering your brand, they're looking at your testimonials, they're looking at your gallery of photos, they're reading your white paper on how to choose the right contractor, what the average kitchen's going to cost based on level of finish. They're in this deciding phase. They're considering all these different inputs. They're just considering these things that you've sent them, that you're remarketing to them over and over. They're deciding. And then that last phase is the purchase phase, where they're going to make that decision to go with you or another contractor. So knowing each stage of your sales funnel is going to allow you to guide prospects seamlessly from interest to conversion. I hope everyone really understands the different phases of a sales funnel. Hopefully, you're running ads, you understand that, you're marketing with that in mind. And then also, we want to identify our quick wins versus our long-term plays. So there are some quick wins. There are some wins that will go to the hare, but a lot of the wins are going to go to the tortoise in our fable, right? It's the long term, it's the marathon that we're really playing for here. So you want to distinguish between the easily attainable keyword rankings, those quick wins, those long tail keywords that you can rank higher, but you got to realize there's not going to be as much search volume for those, and other competitors are probably going to be trying for those as well. And then you got to think about the keywords that are going to require a longer time investment, those long-term plays, the keywords that are going to take longer to rank for, but that's where the huge search volume really is. And so that's where you really want to be thinking about how can you prioritize these efforts in terms of which keywords to choose for maximum ROI impact. Some common mistakes that can really kill your return on investment by choosing the wrong keywords. One of the first ones is targeting keywords with high volume but low intent. Talked about this a little already. What we're talking about is focusing solely on high traffic keywords that can drain your budget if the searchers, the customers using these, high traffic keywords, they're not really ready to buy. So you really want to prioritize intent over volume, and that's going to drive better conversion. So think about that keyword. Does it have commercial intent? Are they looking for you, or are they just trying to get ideas? Like kitchen remodeling ideas. Okay, now there's a keyword, high volume, and you're going to think, whoa, high volume, this is great. Kitchen remodeling ideas, think about the commercial intent of that. There is no commercial intent. They're not looking for a remodeler. They're not looking to buy right now. They're looking for ideas. They're in that idea phase. They're just in the early stages. And so now you got to offer them ideas. You got to offer them pages on your website, a landing page, a white paper, offer them ideas, but now you got to remarket to them and move them through your funnel. So that sales funnel, we keep coming back to that. It's really huge. It really affects how you design your keywords and how you design that whole structure for your funnel. and keeping people into your world after getting them there. It's not going to be instant sales. A lot of people, they want to hit that big red easy button and instant gratification. That's the society we live in, unfortunately. But when customers are thinking about big budget monetary decisions like a full kitchen remodel, full home renovation, it's going to take time. So make sure that you're thinking about volume and intent both with your keywords. And another big common mistake that kills return on investment are ignoring the negative keywords that waste a lot of your ad spend. So, what we're talking about here is failing to exclude irrelevant search terms that will lead to clicks that don't convert, wasting your budget on unqualified leads. An example is working with remodeling and restoration companies. A lot of people don't exclude iPhone water damage. They're trying for water damage company, water damage contractor, water damage near me, whatever it may be. But iPhone water damage is a really, really big keyword. So that's got to be on your negative keyword list. Otherwise, Google's going to show your ad. They're going to do it on purpose because you didn't exclude it and they know they can make money off of it. So you got to be really careful with your negative keywords. Your negative keyword list that you input into your Google dashboard, your ads dashboard, should be massive. There should be a lot of negative keywords on there so that you make sure that you're not paying for clicks that have absolutely no commercial intent, no possibility of conversion or bringing you any kind of a lead whatsoever, much less revenue. And then also overlooking the local modifiers and competitive markets can be another big common mistake that kills your ROI. What we're talking about here is neglecting to optimize for location specific keywords that can cause you to miss out on local leads actively searching for services in their local area. So make sure you've got your geo modifiers in there, the cities that you serve. Make sure all of those are in there in your Google Ads dashboard, in your content that you're putting out there, landing pages, pages on your website, location pages, service pages. Make sure you've got that dialed in terms of the local geo modifiers. And then lastly, one of the other mistakes that you can make that kills your return on investment is neglecting mobile search behavior. With most searches now happening on mobile devices, either phones or tablets, ignoring mobile optimization for your website can really mean losing out on potential clients who browse on their phone. So make sure you have your mobile optimization dialed in, your mobile conversion elements, everything in terms of mobile compatibility and that user experience. So check that at Google Page Score Insights, and it will show you, what your website looks like from a mobile perspective, so you can make sure that you can go through every page and that you're not you don't have any pages that aren't rendering correctly. They're fully mobile compatible with any type of mobile device, no matter what type of phone it is. I want to show you some top keywords here that we can focus on. And what I really want to focus on is just kind of showing you the differences when it comes to volume versus keyword difficulty. So when you look at, like, say, general contractor, huge volume, over 60,000 searches a month, but the keyword difficulty is also the highest on this scale of all these keywords represented here. So this is one of those long plays that we talked about where it's a great keyword. You should be definitely targeting it if you're in that general contractor space, where people are gonna people don't always search remodeler. They search general contractors too. They don't always search design build. They search general contractor, or maybe they don't search builder. Maybe they search general contractor. So it's a great keyword, a lot of volume, but it's got huge difficulty to rank because of all the competition. That's what that keyword difficulty is. It's how hard is this going to be to rank based on all the competitors out there, all the people buying ads, a number of competitors you have, amount of money spent on that keyword. So think about how you can balance that. So one way of balancing it is the next keyword, general contractor services. Okay, a lot less monthly keyword volume, but look at the keyword difficulty. We're almost a third of the keyword difficulty for general contractor, so much easier to rank for. All you need now is to rank for that keyword, get those one or two calls, three calls, four calls that it takes for you to convert. And now you've got a new job instead of waiting the 6 months or 12 months or more that it may take to really get in that three pack for the keyword general contractor. And then same for like bathroom remodeling, kitchen remodeling, home remodeling. Those are high volume, but they also have a pretty good degree of difficulty there. You can see that kitchen remodeling is much more popular than bathroom or home remodeling. More people are remodeling their kitchens than anything because that's the room that they show time and time again in those studies that gives you the most return on investment. When you go to sell your home, you're going to get the most money back out of that new kitchen than you will out of a new bathroom or repainting bedrooms, whatever. Although painting bedrooms is an easy decision to make. Slap a coat of paint on, looks completely fresh and new. But really balance your keyword volume versus your keyword difficulty. And then also think about the keyword volume that is so low, like kitchen and bath remodeling services, only 10 searches per month in any given neighborhood. Keyword difficulty is low, but you also have, other keyword difficulty that's at that same level, right around 30, 32 or so. But look, you can have 1,600 searches, you can have 1,000 searches, 1,300, 6,600. Same keyword difficulty here for all these essentially 30, 32, 33, 29, but one's going to give you over 1,000 searches or even over 6,000 searches where one will only give you 10 searches. So this one with 10 is just not a high priority, in other words. So think about that. You really want to balance volume, but you also want to look at keyword difficulty, and then you want to compare it to the other keywords. You can't do this in a bubble. You really need to compare and look at different keywords and say, which one's the best out of this pool of keywords? Okay, now which one's the best out of this pool of keywords? And keep doing that to find your best keywords, because you can't just compare one or two, because there could be several options that are going to be good, viable options for you, like I just showed here. These last 5 results, I would go for all 4 of these and skip that 5th one. Of course, we target every keyword. We're trying to rank for hundreds and hundreds of keywords. Typically, our customers are ranking for anywhere from 300 to 400 different keywords. So we're targeting everything. But for you, if you're doing your own SEO, you can't do that. You simply do not have the time to put out that amount of content, that amount of backlinks, and really go that deep into your SEO strategy. So if you're doing this on your own, this is the way to kind of look at it and say, look at all this, same keyword difficulty, but different volumes here that clearly illuminate what you should go for. And then these high volume, even though it's high keyword difficulty, you still have to go for it. That you just have to play the long game there. You just have to realize, hey, it's going to take a while to rank for those keywords, as long as I'm doing all the other things right in terms of my SEO. But you still have to go for them. You can't just ignore the high search volume keywords, because that's what everyone's using. It's just going to take longer to get there. So I hope that helps on really trying to understand the difference between keyword search volume versus keyword difficulty to rank, and then trying to find a balance between each of those to come up with your ideal list of keywords that will help drive the most return on investment for you. Uh, any questions from anyone? Let me know. If you've got any questions, you can, feel free to hit me up on socials. You can find me. You can find our company on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. Shoot me an email. You can also go to our website. We've got a keyword list on there that you can download, or just send a message. Or if you just want some guidance, want to get on the phone chat for 20, 30 minutes and try try to get some guidance, I'm happy to do that. Would really just want to see people making the right decisions and starting their SEO foundation off on the right foot, because just like building a house, you have to start with a great foundation. Same thing with search engine optimization, SEO, in other words, driving revenue from your digital marketing. You have to have a great foundation in place, and that great foundation starts with keywords. You have to pick the right keywords, and you have to make sure that you're targeting the high intent keywords, make sure that you're dialed in on your ads and getting those negative keywords, all that stuff. So keywords really are the foundation of your SEO strategy. So I hope that that answers any questions that you had about keywords, which ones to use, which ones are better. But again, reach out if you have any questions at all for me or for any way that we can help you at all. We're glad to help. I want to thank everyone for being on this workshop today. Not a sexy, popular topic talking about keywords, but it is so instrumental to your success, to building your foundation for SEO. So I hope that I've been able to help you guys today. I hope I've been able to deliver some great value for you. Let me know if you need any help. And I hope everyone has a great holiday weekend coming up. Everyone, take care, stay safe if you're traveling, and enjoy the Memorial Day weekend. Hat tip to all of our servicemen and women that have served our nation so proudly, especially those that have paid the ultimate price. God bless America. Thank you, and have a great rest of your day and weekend, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.